Hey guys, what's up? We've got a training game on the board and I'm going to play d4. So this is Blackforge. We've played one of these before a few weeks back if you saw that video. And okay, we've got d4, d5. So I'm thinking Jabava London. And you've got Queen's Gambit, that could go in all kinds of different directions. I could even play like, do you know what, let's play like a King's Indian attack. Okay, I should probably have brought my knight out first to f3. I'm just going to play something that I never play. And that means that, in these games, I don't want to wipe my opponent off the board with theory. That would be pointless, wouldn't it, really? So, okay, so we have knight here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk it through from basic principles, say what I see on the board. Okay, so here, the knight attacks the d4 pawn. Is the d4 pawn defended? Yes, it's defended by the queen. She's not going anywhere in a hurry, so I'm going to develop my knight. I'm going to fianchetto to my bishop and a castle. This is the general idea. Okay, so with the move d4, I've staked a bit of a claim over the dark squares, particularly the central dark squares d4 and d5. With the move 1 d5, white has correspondingly staked a bit of a claim over the light squares. And this is very common. So you get the same kind of deal with the other way around if e4, e5. Or also e4, c5, the Sicilian. So with e4, you target light squares. With c5, you target dark squares. You don't want to give your opponent really control over all the dark and the light squares in the center. Okay, so here we've got, so it's picked up, it's the King's Indian attack. Okay, so after knight f6, what's going on? Well, here again, black is looking at the dark squares in the center, defending this pawn a second time. Is he threatening to come in here? I don't know. Thing is, if he does, I can't really kick him out with a pawn. But I could play this. If he comes in, if I take on e4, he recaptures with the pawn, then I have to move mine. We'll cross that bridge if we come to it, but also he's not really threatening anything directly if he brings his knight into e4. And also, you have to observe that he's moving a developed piece a second time if he does that. But this is a sensible setup, knights before bishops. He's holding fire on what he wants to do with his e-pawn, or if he even wants to move his e-pawn at all. He could move the g-pawn and develop his bishop that way. Okay, so he's come out to threaten the knight. This is all good. Now, if I castle, if he takes, I can recapture with my bishop. I'm happy with that. He's given up his bishop, he's given up the bishop pair. And again, just thinking again about color complexes, I was just watching a video about this. The advantage of having the bishop pair, particularly at the end of the game, because you never get new pieces arriving on the board in standard chess. You get pieces disappearing off the board. The board decays over time. And so as the board opens up towards the end of the game, if you can get to the end game with both bishops, it means you've got high-speed long-range pieces controlling the light squares and another one controlling the dark squares. Alright, so I'm going to castle. I'm going to go ahead and castle. Don't see why not. Do I need this knight to defend d4? No, because the queen also defends. The pawn is over defended. It's attacked once and it's defended twice. So even if my knight were to disappear off the board, after bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, I'm still happy. The pawn's fine. I can also defend it with c3 if I want. Need to now be thinking about my attention turns to these minor pieces here. So where do they belong? Particularly the bishop. I mean, the knight has a very natural square, right? So that's like plan A, plan B for a knight. One advantage of this is when you do have a knight that's under pressure defending the castle king, moving your knight sideways can help to defend that knight with a replacement. Okay, so we've had e6 now. So what does e6 do? Well, it solidifies this pawn that's now triple defended. Okay, what it doesn't do is really directly contest the center. Also actually allows my knight to come in, which is something that we probably should consider. So what am I doing with this? Well, with this, I'm attacking the bishop. Now, the bishop can't attack its way out of that issue. So let's think knight here. Attacking the bishop, it might retreat. Okay, then I've got a knight in the center of the board. And black has burned a move, wasted a turn really, by retreating the bishop on the same diagonal that it already was. If I do knight here, he goes bishop here. Again, he's wasted a move. So more likely here is if I go knight e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, that also wins the tempo because I'm now attacking this knight, which now also has to move. And where's it going to go? Well, it can't go here if my knight has moved because my bishop can take it. So is it going to go back home? No. Is it going to go back here? Well, not very good. Is it going to go back here? Well, that's possible. So actually, the move knight e5 is very viable. But in addition, what about this? What else has changed with the move e6? Well, now this knight is in a pinnable situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin the knight with my bishop. Right? See, I haven't moved this pawn. I haven't moved my e-pawn. So this is not this knight is not pinned. This knight is fine. He can take. I'll take back. Okay, he's broken the pin. And he's moved his bishop to a solid square. But it's kind of in a defensive position here rather than offensive position, you know. If a bishop comes out like here or here, it's more aggressive, it's more offensive. Okay, so I've just prompted my opponent to do something maybe he didn't want to do, I don't know. So I'm thinking knight bd2 makes some sense. I could then move this pawn, right? See, if I move my knight to c3, it's natural square. Well, where's it going to go from there? Right, it can't go here because pawn takes. It can't go here because pawn takes. Right? Is it going to go from here to here? Not really. It just gets kicked back. Right? But knight b to d2. Then if bishop takes here, I have the option of bishop. Even so, you know, and this is the thing as well. It comes back to this, that black has staked his claim on the light-coloured squares, right? Like he would do with a Caro-Kann, like he might do with a French, you know, and d5. So with my knight on a dark square, its options are limited. Because from a dark square it can only go to light squares, and the light squares in the centre of the board, which is generally the path from wherever I start to the king that I want to attack, right? That's why the centre is important. The part, you know, my next step is it has to be on a light square. You have to change colour complex every time you move as a knight. It's the law. So from here or here, my next step has to be a light square. And what I could do is try and get to another light square and then a dark square. So I am going to play knight bd2. I want to see if I can prompt black forward here to trade. Because this knight is not bad, right? This knight has prospects, like in the London, you know. It might want to jump into e5 at some point. But now this tactic of this takes doesn't work the same way because this knight is no longer pinned on the queen. Because he's blocked it. So things change, you know, with every turn. Interesting stuff. By the way, if you ever want to play one of these games, so I'm going to be looking at my opponent's position as well. In fact, let's flip the board and let's pretend to be black for a minute. Okay. Woody's asleep. Shh. He's snoring. Oh, mate, you're right. He's having a right good snore. Okay, so let's say we're black. Okay, we've got a solid setup here. Again, good light square control. This bishop is outside of the pawn chain. You've got to think, where's it going to go? So if I was black here, would I be worried about moves like this? You know? And this is something I do suggest you do. On chess.com, you hit X to flip the board. On Lichess, it's F to flip. Same on openingtree.com. Okay, so we have castles from black. Now, am I worried about this? As black, right? See, white's not worried because the bishop defends this square, so I can freely push h3. I could have done the same thing if my pawn had still been on g2 as well, right? h3, where's the bishop going to go? If it goes here, and it gets pushed again, it kind of has to retreat. I mean, look, this is possible. This is out and out, right? So, I don't know. Well, let's flip the board again. Let's have a think from white's perspective. I'm not in love with the idea just in general principle, but general principles will only take you so far. I'm liking the move c3 for white, and I'll tell you for why. Because it controls this dark square, and it stops the knight from coming there, and it stops the bishop from coming there. Now, I don't think the bishop's going to abandon its post here, because it's doing an important job of preventing the knight pin. But I'm going to play c3, because I don't want this knight coming in having ideas, right? And again, you can see that the queen's knight in this setup is constrained, because I've played a d4 opening, and because I played a d4 opening, I've gone on to create a dark squared pawn chain. And what that does is it controls all of the dark squares, all of the important ones in the middle, and this one. I've done the same thing on the king side. Right? So this knight cannot progress. All of these squares are deadly. My knight's got a similar problem. Can't go here, can't go here. It's just one other layer of looking at the board. Now, I do have also knight b3. Knight b3 is an idea. I could then come to, these dark squares, which again aren't particularly appetizing right now, but you never know. I mean, this bringing my knight round to c5, I don't know. That's defended twice. But from here I'm looking at an undefended pawn. But if I invest 2 moves in this and he goes kickity kick, what am I going to do then? I'm going to go a4, that's a horrible square. So if knight here kicks, I can't go in there. If I go in here, I'm walking into the lion's mouth really, aren't I? Because I'm going to get hit. And if this pawn is on here, I can't go back there or there. So I'm dead. Do you know what I mean? And then sometimes it's fine to say, just leave it, right? Don't worry about it. You've got a bad piece, it's fine. Just bide your time. Okay, interesting move. So with this move, he's attacking this bishop, which is actually attacked 3 times now. So something must be done. Either I add another defender. Well, how can I do that? No, it doesn't, because it's attacked 3 times, it's only defended once as things stand. So I can't add 2 defenders in one move, unless I could somehow move a knight and with a discovered defense. But anyway, there's nothing on. Nothing on. So that's one option out the window. Option B is to move the bishop. Now these moves are out. This move is bad, because bishop takes, and I take back with the... I don't know, bishop takes, I guess I take with the knight. That might be a possible. If I drop back, bishop takes, knight takes, I've then, in a sense, lost my worst bishop, because I'm playing on the dark squares, right? In particular, I've got this central dark squared pawn here. It makes life a bit harder for that bishop, but it's not the end of the world. Right, now I could retreat here, but that gets in the way of the e-pawn, and at some point I guarantee you this e-pawn wants to move. I could come here, which then eyes up that. If I do this and pushes, I've then got lots of control. Actually, that's not a bad square for the bishop. The other option is to trade it off. There and queen takes. Why queen takes? Because it means that black completes development. I mean, he might also choose to take with the knight and then spin his knight around to this side of the board. But I kind of like bishop f4. I think that's all right. This is a very decent game so far. My opponent is using a similar amount of time to me, but he's still got 11 minutes because he's made a couple of quick moves. This move he made, bishop e7, he made in just a few seconds, whereas I'm taking a couple of minutes over mine. So I need to hurry up a little bit. So what's the plan, man? I mean, one plan is to trade knights here. That was actually another option. Was it another option? Instead of moving the bishop, take the knight. No, this was not, it's not great. Because if he takes with the pawn, I've then got a knight under attack and a bishop under attack, but I can trade my way out of that. So maybe that's something I should have thought about. Take knight, let's say pawn takes, queen takes, this knight has to move, might come in here. Could have a trade, I end up with double D pawns. Not the end of the world. But anyway. So let's say I take the knight takes. I might centralize. It will prompt him to take. And then I don't know. We'll see what happens. So Black Forge is currently rated 1110 in Rapid. Sorry, I've made that move, haven't I? So it's 2 minutes there. Got to hurry up now. If he takes, queen takes again. Yeah, connect the rooks. Hello. What's this? If I take there, now that's not good. I was thinking, can I take, and then this knight's under attack, and I take, and queen can't recapture because of this? Well, yes, that would work, but he doesn't have to do it that way. I take knight, he takes bishop, and I've got no way to recapture other than capturing with a g-pawn, and I do not want to capture with a g-pawn, Precious. No, not at all, my love. So bishop takes bishop is likely here. Bishop e3 is also a thought. Right? Bishop e3, if he takes, I take towards the center with the f-pawn, thereby getting a semi-open f-file. This is interesting. If I take here, I'm going to get a queen up in my face, isn't it? I could kick the queen. I've got h4, I can kick the queen. Bishop can't capture en passant, only a pawn can capture en passant. No, if I take, it's not queen takes at all. Has to be knight takes. Let's try this. Let's try this. Just because, like, trading was the obvious one, I really don't feel the need to invite his queen to the party right now. No, not at all. I'd rather that bishop stay there, getting in the queen's way. Oh, so yeah. Now this isn't bad actually. This isn't bad. I thought I was kind of doubling pawns, but I'm not really, am I? That's okay. Capturing towards the center, opening up the f-file. This is a worse idea for black because he doubles his pawns, but it's a central pawn taking across the center, not towards the center. So he ends up with double pawns here. Okay, well, we take back. If takes, I have 3-4 options to recapture. I'm still planning this. I could even, actually, have taken the knight as well, couldn't I? No, because in pawn takes, there's a continuation of pawn takes knight. Can't afford that. But I like what my opponent's doing here. I've only got a 10-second increment now, so... Okay. So we've opened things up. Now if I take and takes, stick my knight here. No, because then knight takes and takes, and I've got 3 pawns then on the e-file. Don't really want that. Takes. Yes, I'm not liking this move now. H3 is also actually not playable because bishop takes. Oh no, queen's on the wrong colour. There, bishop takes, he loses his bishop, so this would kick the bishop away. Yeah. I'm generally reticent to move the pawns in front of my king too eagerly. However, I'm not completely averse to doing it if it's the right thing to do. But I'm still definitely into this idea. Okay, now I'm definitely... That is a funny old move, Black Forge. Why? Because let's look at the board, right? Here the queen has some scope. Okay, she can come here. Yes, she can't go there or there. But, you know, these squares are all right. And even from here, she's got potential... I mean, yeah, I know they're covered as well. So he stuck his queen on a light square. Why has he done that? Is he planning this kind of nonsense? Well, I'm still thinking this, that. Pawn takes is going to be played, right? So after pawn takes, I could swing my knight back, threaten the pawn, which will not be defended. What's going to happen? Bishop comes up, or f5. f5 is possible. And I'm kind of currently prevented from accessing this nice little square. So he's going to take... What else is an idea? This is an idea. I have to move the knight because pawn takes, my knight's on prise. And I've only really got, well, 3 options. There. I don't like this. We've already discounted that one, so we're not going there. The issue with g5 is he can play h6 and kick me back, and where am I going to go? I can't come back to here. So if I go here, h6, could come back there, but that's kind of ugly. Unless I want to come back here. It's a bit of a long way around. I think I'm just going to do this. Knock the ball back into Black Forge's court. I'm attacking a pawn, it's undefended, he's got to do something. Is he going to take the bold move and push the f-pawn? It's not that bad a move, actually. It's not a crazy move at all. And I'm starting to feel like maybe I even want to start wriggling my king over the other side of the board because, I don't know, this f5 feels a little bit... There he goes, f5. Not bad at all. But now this, and the bishop's retreat that way is blocked, so here the bishop has to go back there. So if h3, bishop h5... I have another way round here as well, I could do that, but again, I don't really want to go into that square. I've got this too. Ooh, I've got queen b3, quite like that, because it targets this undefended pawn, and also pins this guy, right, on the king. But this pawn is very well defended, right, other than by the pawn, it's defended by the bishop and the rook. But I know I can eliminate the bishop by forcing it back here. Problem is it's still defended by the rook. So there's no ideas of like rook takes because its only defender is pinned because it's rook takes. Unless I want to double up my rooks, but in order to do that I have to move the queen. But I can't move the queen now because she's the only defender of e2. So I'm going to kick the bishop. Okay. Now I don't know if all of this is going to work, but it's a long-range plan. I want to get my queen off the back rank anyway. Why? Because she's stupid right now. She's looking at that. She's babysitting a blooming pawn. Having said that, if the bishop moves back, she's still got to babysit the pawn. So, but then rook f2. The rook can take over babysitting duties. That allows my queen to b3. That then allows my rook to here. Okay? And when these pieces are in place, I am threatening rook takes pawn. Because this pawn can't take, because it is in a pin. And if this rook takes, my other rook that's on f1 takes again. Threatening the bishop also, who will have to come back here. But the pawn can't take, because the pawn is pinned. So I do this. My opponent spots that I'm attacking that. I'll probably do something about it, like push it to b6 or plays rook here, right? So queen's going to come here. He has to do something about this. So this is what we mean by tempo. Right? He hasn't got time. Right? He needs to spend his move. He needs to invest that move in. Okay, well, forget everything I just said. This now comes with check, actually, and it's a fork. But let's think this through, because that move came as a surprise. It came as a surprise. Now, he can block the check with the bishop, but then he loses this pawn, but then he's got rook here. I can't take this pawn because knight defends. I have to go queen h6, a6. I can't come back to here if this bishop's in the way, so I don't know about this. What's going on here? What is going on? Interesting move. I don't have to take the pawn on b7, by the way. I could throw in the check ski. Bishop blocks. I push a pawn. He takes, I take. So I'm not really worried about him taking here because we both just eliminate our surplus e pawns. I'm gonna play this. You are in check. You have to do something. He's on 5.5 minutes too. In fact, if he takes here, I've even got c takes towards the centre. Why not? I have to see how it looks. If take, I'd kind of like to undouble my pawns because they're also blocked as well. It's a closed file. So this is at least going to create some mobility in the position, but is that going to help me? I really don't know. King has moved. Okay, I'm not inclined to capture the pawn. I don't want this. Queen has to come back here. But then I could go there, but then that pawn hangs anyway, so what's the point? Okay, so all of that nonsense that we talked about previously is out the window because there's no pin. But doubling up on this file does make sense anyway. So if he's going to take here, I know I can recapture happily. So I am going to double up on this file. Now this pawn is defended 2 times, and I would not be surprised to see bishop g6 to add a third defender. But you know what? This is a very decent game of chess. It's very tight. It's very interesting. Knight c4 targets this pawn. I take knight recaptures. This knight hangs. Knight c4 hits the knight. The knight could come in here, targeting my rook. That would be unpleasant. To me, I don't want to be doing that. I've also got d5. d5 hits the knight straight away. It can't go there, it can't go there, it can't go there. He could go here. That tickles the queen. Two defenders on here. I'd love one of those defenders to move along. Is this a move now? I mean, there's even the possibility of sacking a minor piece on here. I don't see the advantage right now. Queen here. Knight takes, takes. I'm threatening this, but he just drops the bishop back. Could trade bishops, then h takes. Opens up the king a bit. But my bishop's kind of doing an important job here of guarding that. Okay, so I need to move. We need to move. I'm going to drop my queen back to c2. Okay, I'm going to have to play quicker now, guys, because my opponent is playing splendidly. Also notice, by the way, this pawn is practically pinned. Why? Because if this pawn vacates the f-file, I have takes, forcing this. So let's try a cheapo. I'm going to try a cheapo now. Time's running short. If he takes this, it's forced mate. I take. The only legal move is for rook to take, then rook takes. And that, again, is the power of doubling up your rooks on a semi-open file. He can't take. But I am maybe threatening to do so. I don't know. I don't know. It's a cheap shot, is what it is. That's the kind of thing that Blitz will teach you. And right now we are in a Blitz game, by the way, because I've got 2 minutes 29 and he's on 3:55 with a 10-second increment, it has to be said. But this is Blitz territory. Okay, he's taken here. If I do this, he's got that with a fork, so I can't, so I'm going to do that. Queen's the only defender of this. He still can't take here. If I take and bishop takes, I can take this pawn for free. In fact, I can take this pawn for free, either with knight or bishop, because again he can't take, so I've takes forced mate in 2. Okay, that means that this pawn hangs. Interesting. This pawn is effectively pinned to all extents and purposes. If he pushes, I just take, I guess, with the pawn. Still kind of liking my position. But I have to say my opponent is playing bloody well in the style of Ginger GM. Bloody well. He's just all proper cockney, isn't he, Simon? Oh, interesting. I think he has seen through my plan. Now I can't take here. What if I take here? He's got 3 attackers. Doesn't work. Is he threatening this? Perhaps he is. Okay. I'm kind of loath to push on with that. I could just block up. I put my queen back here. Here I just move back, I guess. Maybe move back to dark square. Just putting more pressure on this rook. Now, if I take here takes, I win the rook. Okay. Okay, I'm lined up with the king. So maybe h4, h5. I don't know, really. Now what about this move, kicking the knight back here? Say, get out of it. Knighty. Okay, tactics, tactics, tactics is what it's going to come down to. Okay, I'm just going to apply a blockage here. If takes, everyone dies. This knight is now not great, but it does have a way back into the board. I could just push b3 at some point just to prevent that, but I'm not sure. What if takes, takes, takes? I've got more eyes on that. That might be a thought. Depends what he does next. If here, takes, takes, then if this pawn moves away, I've got triple eyes on this. I've got 2 rooks and a queen, but he's got 3 defenders also. So it still doesn't work terribly well. But Blackforge, if you're able to play it, okay, so he's done it. He's done it. He's pulled the trigger. I've got 2 attackers on this. So I have a pawn at the end of this, right? If he takes with a rook, I think we trade rooks. He's threatening this as well, and then queen takes. That's a pain in the arse. If he takes with the bishop, okay, he's taking with the rook, right. I take, at least he's got to respond to that. But how do I defend this now? Bishop takes, he undefends this pawn, so he's not done that, okay. I do have this move. Bless you. I have this move or this move. If he takes there, am I worried? I'm worried about the queen coming right into my face, actually. So I'm going to take with the knight. If we trade here, that's okay. If his queen kind of needs to defend this as well. If I can drop my queen onto the back rank, we could have mating situations. Here, I'm not worried. The queen can't come into any of these squares. So that's, I'm all right for the minute. But like I say, if... Curse you. Right, I'm a piece down. I'm losing. So if you can play like this, I will say it again. Why are you 1100? Cheapo back rank mates is the kind of name of the game. Maybe here. Maybe targeting this. Queen can't come in. That's a check. Okay, at least my bishop's guarding this. That's a check that I can block with a queen, but I don't want to. I'd have to bring my king back here. If he does this, I bring my king back here. Ooh, okay, king back. She can't come there, she can't come there. I'm actually up on the clock. Now, he is up a piece, but that's the piece. And what's that doing? That's off round the sides, munching on the hedges. That's what that knight's doing. That knight is currently not involved. So again, queen here would be checkmate. If it wasn't guarded. Queen here would be mate in two. Queen blocks, I take. Okay, let's go back. Here we go. I can do this all day. At this point, I'm a piece down, mate. I will take a draw by repetition. No worries. This is an idea. This is an idea. He's on 1 minute 25. Okay, he's engaged the knight. The knight is now looking at this. Okay, let's try this. Just as a cheap shot. I'm defending this pawn. I'm not defending this one, but you can't do that one because I mate you. This will be interesting to analyse. Good. Okay, let's tickle the knight then. Now, that would still be mate if the queen wasn't guarding it. That's a nice fork if the queen wasn't guarding it. So the queen is guarding two very important squares right now. Okay, can I do this? Yeah, queen can't go there or there or... Right, he's down to a minute now. He just got 10 seconds though back for playing his move. Okay, this is well defended. It's defended twice. Queen's gone there. Am I interested in trading? Hell no. Queen goes there, I can block. I threaten. Oh god, the knight's also defending c8. Okay, but I have the. Okay. Ba 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 ba. Okay, well I can't. There's no question of taking the bishop because knight takes queen. That's just dead lost. Take with king, I guess. Right, now you have to use your knight to good effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 pawns each. Still +3. The knight is guarding a very important square there, because if I can get my queen onto that square and he can't block, then it is potentially a mate. I have a check here, actually. I also have a check here. Queen blocks there. Let's put the pressure straight back on. I'm on 2 minutes. If he goes here, I've got another check. If he goes here, I'll start taking pawns. If he gets his queen here, obviously it's mate, defended by the knight, but I would love to attack the knight as well. If the queen moves off the back rank, I can just still keep checking. I don't know. I've got 2 minutes. He has a check here and here. Queen here, here. I'd like to attack the knight with my king as well, because the queen can't be on a square where she's defended by the knight and defend the knight. That's a funny thing I've just realised. Also, you've got to be careful about these squares too, lady. I'm attacking the knight. It's 50 seconds. My opponent is playing a damn good game. Now, if I come here now, it flushes the king out. That we don't really want. If I can get my queen to this square, it's mate, because the queen can't block. But my queen can't get to that square. If only Jellyhead could reach the whatever. Any Viz lovers out there? That is quite an obscure one though. Now he's down to 20 seconds. He's got a winning position. This doesn't work because I just take the knight. And then I'm actually a pawn up. Knight attacks queen. Okay, I want to get to this square. So this attacks both knight and threatens queen e8 mate. That defends both. Curse you. Okay, 20 seconds. Again. What are you going to do? Keep checking me? I'm going to run away. I'm going to run away, I told you. You can't go there or there. You can't go there anyway. You've got this, I run away. I run away. Now what have you got? You got this, I run away here. And I will run away. Or even, no, that doesn't work because queen takes. No, she doesn't. Still, I have mate. You could be, and you can't go there neither. So what have you got? Knight can't check. It's on the wrong colour. We know that. For a knight to move with an attack, has to be attacking the piece that's on the same colour that it's on right now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. He's going to have to move. Check. This, he has to block again. Should we just go for a draw? I think that would be fair. Don't you? Don't you? Fair? In fact, I can't draw there because queen takes, so there's no repetition that way. Okay, so what are we going to do? If I take and king takes, he's got free run with these guys, and can my two pawns beat these knights? Go on, let's do it. I want to find out, because he's played a damn good game. Right? But he's going to run with these pawns. That's okay. Attack the knight. Wouldn't mind having my king on the f-file, because then it's got some options of maybe intercepting these two buggers. I've also got the idea of this. I do have a 2-on-1 over here on the queen side. Okay, let's do this and threaten that. Okay, still my king can intercept, so I'm going to do this. Pre-move the recapture. Okay, now what are you going to do? Right, I have to step into the square of the pawn. His king has to step into this square. Okay. How's the knight going to stop it? There, it can. No, it can't. Knight here, knight here, yes, it can. Okay, but now I can stop this one, can't I? So that's one down. Okay, now the knight has to go here. Right, and now that knight is bound to the fate of the a-pawn. God, blimey, what a nail biter. Right, this knight can't go anywhere now. It's got a job. Okay, I'm going to bring my king in. Can't move this pawn, really. I do this. Okay, well, I push forwards here. You can't go there and attack it, because I promote. Okay, now we are looking at a repetition. I'm kind of in Zugzwang here. I mean, if I move away to attack this pawn, he comes in. Let's think about this. I go here, he comes in. I go forwards, he can't take here. Oh, pawn there, knight, yes, okay. I'm thinking he might do this, and I'm going to intercept that pawn. He can't, I don't think he can take this one, because I then push this, and the knight can't stop both of these. That's my thought. I've only got 5 minutes now, because of the increment. Okay, I don't think you can do that one. Oh, he moves his knight. No, he doesn't. That's okay. If my knight... Oh, hello. King can't take this pawn. And I am going to try and wheedle my way in here and defend this guy and help to promote him. So I'm really trying to complicate things here. King can't take. The king cannot guard this square. Okay, now what you're going to do? Because I'm going to promote to a queen. Bloody hell fire. What an ending. I think this is now winning for white, but I'm loath to win because my opponent played such a damn good game. Okay, I'm going to get a rook. Why? Because I want to minimise stalemate opportunities. And hopefully Black Forge will play on, and we'll just do a king-rook mate. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to push his king up the board until he moves into opposition, right? Opposition means 2 squares apart in a straight line. So now I do this. He can't stay on this rank, and he can't go to any of these squares. Right, now he attacks my rook. I'm going to come here. Okay, now I'm going to go a knight's move away from the king. Not in opposition. I want him to move into opposition with me. As he does, now he has to go onto the back rank. And when he does, I move a knight's move away because I want him to move into opposition with me. Of course, he's not going to do it. I'll just burn a move with a rook. He has to go, okay, burn another move because we're in a knight. I want him to move here. He's not going to do it. Okay. And again. And that's checkmate. Okay, because he can't come on any of these squares. Wow. Just put wow in the chat. That was a beast of a game. Mate. At 1110 or whatever you are, Jesus wept. That was a splendid performance. I am uploading, so it's going to take seems to be a bit of a lag. Fortunately, it wasn't lagging in the game itself. Okay, it's taking its time. But that was magnificent. How did we play? Well, he didn't play like an 11-10. Sheesh. Well, I mean, Wow. We've got to do this. We've got to go through it, okay? Okay, book. Inaccurate. So, like I say, I'm playing an opening I don't know. That was the best move, pleased with that. Okay, I mean, we're kind of just jostling here. That's fine, that's not brilliant. Okay, moving my bishop out of the line of fire was not fantastic. Best here was trade bishops and then take the knight. Mess up his pawns good and proper, centralise my knight. Why didn't I see that? Anyway, so yeah, that was poor. I give him a little edge here. That's not great, and I play another stupid move. I could have won a pawn. Okay, if queen takes what? I take the knight? Is that the idea? Maybe something like that. Okay. And black actually has a slight edge here. And my king is starting to look a little bit vulnerable. Okay. Should have come out onto the board. Targeting this pawn, actually. So, yeah, not very good play from me, eh? Not very good play from me at all. Alright, but anyway, what's this blunder? That wasn't good. And this, and then that's a mistake. He should have blocked the check. Now I'm slightly better. That's a blunder. But obviously I missed it. Why did I? Oh, come on. Oh, right. This pawn was pinned all along. So I could have just grabbed that for free. Yeah, a bit dopey, eh, today? That would have been good. This was still on, I think, actually. I think I realised this later. You missed the opportunity to win a pawn. Okay, again, yeah, just take this. Okay, nice. Capturing towards the centre there. Okay, and that's another miss. Why is that 3 attackers? Rook takes. Oh, the queen also has to defend that. Rook takes. Rook takes. Queen takes. I've got 2 minor pieces for... Oh. Anyway, look, he was making life difficult for me. What am I supposed to do? Anyway, back to the actual game itself. And now this just wasn't great. And that's a blunder. Okay. That's a blunder. What I should have done is move the bishop and hide behind the pawn. Use it as a human shield. Absolute blunder. Yeah, I mean, I just undefended the knight, didn't I? Like a numpty. Lost the piece, of course, right? Okay, that's where I just lost. I didn't even see it. I was just... my head up my bum. Okay, he's now winning. Winning. Still winning. That's best move. Good. Happy about that, because I'm threatening mate as well here. Good move. And there's some good play going off here. But in a minute, there's a absolute smorgasbord of blundering. That was good. You were skewering the queen. He trades. Excellent. Okay. Check. That's okay. And he's still totally winning. Okay, so this is the point that I start to feel happy, and that's a blunder, hitting the queen. So at this point, I'm starting to think the game is lost anyway. Oh, you knobhead. This is just a good old-fashioned fork. Oh, bloody hell. So yeah, here, he's winning again. But he's going to blunder in a minute. But then he's on time pressure. He's down to 30 seconds at this point. Good stuff. I block the check. And now he's out of queen checks. He's out of checks entirely, isn't he? Apart from that, which loses. And that's a blunder. I should have just taken the knight. Oh, God. Should have just taken the stupid bleeding bloody knight. And I'm a pawn up. But we dick about for a bit. And that's a mistake. But then. So that was not the most accurate move. What's the most accurate? Okay, coming with tempo against the knight, yeah. Okay, I'll take your point. Keep it, tying the king close to the pawns as well. But now we do this, same difference, okay. I like that, a4, good, good, good. Good, good. And that's a mistake. You're thinking we're making a dash for the line with our passed pawn, but... Okay, I mean I could have gone to f2 as well, right? Yeah, 0.3 of a pawn difference. Anyway, I have to do that move. And that is a mistake. But that's why these endgames are so pigging hard. And that's more or less drawing. But he does this with the knight. I shouldn't have taken there. I should have let him burn a move. And then I take. Of course. Okay, so that's again it's drawing here. Huh. Wow. Wow. But, and this is just like where experience told us to, I mean, look, I'm not playing great here, and I do have another miss or blunder coming up. And this was another, so here again he has the chance to draw with a fork on king and pawn. And there's me saying he can't stop both. But he missed it. So, really a comedy of errors in so many ways there. But under time pressure, I was pleased I held my nerve in the end. But Blackforge, mate, you keep going like that. You keep going like that. That's the review. Oh. Well, there's me saying he played way above 1100. It felt like that. It felt like that. But, you know, that's what it felt like in the ring. So, there you go. Whew. And I played slightly better. So, what have we learnt? Not a lot from that performance. I don't know. Felt like I was adding a load of value there, but I managed to unravel pretty comprehensively. But, you know, like we all say, a win's a win in chess, so there you go. Right, I need to lie down now. That was a long game. Blackforge, thank you very much once more. If you want to play a game like this for $10, then book a slot at any appropriate time, and you know, you'll be featured in a video. So there you go. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.